Alexa, lights on.
Okay.
Voila! It's so cool. But what's not cool is spending the holidays alone when you'd rather be with your family or friends. And alone can be all sorts of different things. It can mean like alone. What I'm doing is house sitting in Flagstaff, Arizona for a friend of mine, and she and her two kids and her husband have gone to Texas to visit his family. So I'm going to be here all alone for Christmas. So I am alone. A lot of people do feel very lonely this Christmas. So in this video, I want to give 3 or 4 ways that I cope with being alone. If you think about the times that you've been with people, whether it was family or friends or even coworkers, and you felt more alone with them than you did by yourself, hold on to that. Like, that's helped me so much, just knowing that I'd rather be lonely by myself than lonely in a relationship that makes me unhappy. And I think what a lot of people do is they choose to stay in relationships just so that they're not alone. Because when you're with someone, then you don't have to think about how lonely you feel or how unhappy you are. And it's a little bit easier to ignore your painful feelings. So, my first tip, which helps me a lot, is just to remember that I'd rather be lonely alone than lonely in a relationship with someone that I don't connect with. The second thing that helps me is to notice when I'm thinking, it shouldn't be this way. My life shouldn't be this way. I shouldn't be 52 and alone without children in a struggling marriage or separated from my husband. I should have a family. I should be with my sister. I should be with my mom. There's a lot of shoulds. It shouldn't be this way is something that makes me very unhappy and very dissatisfied with my life. And then I realized that my thoughts were making me more unhappy than the actual situation. The actual situation is actually quite pleasant. I'm in a really cool home. There's a couple of cats who like to play in the middle of the night. So is it true that it shouldn't be this way? I actually think it should be this way right now. I don't know why or how I ended up here, but I'm sitting in Flagstaff, Arizona in a cat toy in front of a tree that Alexa turned the lights off.
Okay.
Can you imagine if we had like a god or a genie or an Alexa that would turn the lights on and off for you when you just ask? What if that's not the way it should be? What if you don't actually know the way your life should be right now? What if the way your life is unfolding right this second is exactly what you need and what everybody else needs? Into that, like, if you can get into that acceptance and the freedom of allowing the way things are right now to be the way things should be, then you kind of are opening up in a way that you wouldn't if you were resisting and fighting how you feel. The third way that I have adjusted actually quite well to being alone every holiday season and New Year's Eve too, is that I like my own company. I kind of have fun by myself and I like who I am. Not just that, but I've made peace with all the mistakes I've made, all my failures and my regrets and all the bad stuff I've done and all the things I'm ashamed of. I've made peace with it. I've let it go because I can't carry that burden anymore. But it's not just me. Like, it's not like, oh, I love me and I love spending time with me. I find that when I'm alone and by myself, especially when I'm lonely or sad, then I feel this presence and peace of God in ways that I could never do when I'm with other people. When I'm with other people, it gets diluted. I get distracted. I'm focused on the other person. I'm focused on the situation. I can't feel that presence of whatever you call it, that deep inner sense of peace and stillness and awareness of like the whole energy that vibrates through the universe in such a stronger way when I'm by myself. I definitely do not want to be alone, spending Christmas alone all the rest of my life. But for right now, this is the way it is. I don't know if that's going to help you or not. I don't know if it would help me in a month or a week from now, but that's all I got right now. No matter where in the world you are, no matter who you're with or how lonely you feel, take good care of yourself because you are worth taking good care of. Mwah. Alexa, lights off.
Okay.
I never had one before. Alexa, is someone going to invite me for Christmas dinner?
I don't know that.
Alexa, tell me a joke.
How do you send soda pop to an astronaut?
How?
With a bottle rocket.
Alexa, play music.
Sure. Here's a custom mix just for you.
So I've spent many Christmases alone, even though I was married and I actually had a family that I could go to. It wasn't my family, but it was a family. There was a place for me to go at Christmas, and I just never felt comfortable doing it. So I guess I've been getting better at being alone over Christmas. It was really hard. And actually, those 4 or 5 years, I didn't even have friends that were in town or who invited me over for Christmas. So I was alone all those Christmases. You may not have made this choice to be alone, but if you think about ways that you could be spending Christmas that would make you unhappy or feel even lonelier, then maybe that would make you feel better. When I get lonely, and I'm actually traveling on the road, I'm from Vancouver, Canada, and I'm in Arizona now. And so I spend a lot of time by myself on the road alone, and I get lonely a lot. And what really helps a lot is picturing myself with people who I don't feel connected with, and I feel a lot lonelier to be around. We're lonely deep down because we need something more than we're getting. And I found that if I go into the loneliness, I have a way to cope with it that makes me feel a lot more peaceful, joyful, and free. And that's going to be my third tip. If it's happening this way, then this is the way it should be. And so for you, whether like your wife died or your husband left you or your children aren't spending Christmas with you or they're out having fun somewhere and not spending time with you, sit with the thought for a moment that this is the way it should be. For some reason in your life and the other people's lives right now, this is the way it should be. So how are things for you right now? Like what's going on in your life? And what are you saying? It shouldn't be this way. I should be with someone, or I should have my pet back, or I should this, or I should that. I don't know why or how I ended up here, but I'm sitting in Flagstaff, Arizona in a cat toy in front of a tree that Alexa turned the lights off.
Okay.
That I even have a friend that I didn't know I had. If I wasn't alone this Christmas, then I wouldn't be making this video and connecting with you. And if you weren't alone this Christmas, you wouldn't be watching this video. And you never ever know what the ramifications or what could happen just by me making this video or you watching the video. Maybe nothing. Maybe stuff will happen that we don't know anything about. Maybe we'll touch each other's lives in certain ways that we can't predict right now. This is the way it should be, and I should be sitting in this cat toy, and I should be making this video.